his dream was always to be a boxer. So I know what I'm up against. You know, I look at all these small details, but I spar, I do my film study, all that type of stuff. I keep it professional, but on the night, that's different. All that textbook stuff goes out the window, and you just got to be relentless.
They're not sparring Jake Paul. They're moving around with him, touching him up, a little jab and a little technical bullshit. So they're not sparring him. Lawrence Okoye's quite a good puncher, he's big now. Jake Paul's not good enough to spar with him.
But, I mean, you got to give it up to Jake Paul. He must have a big old nut sack on him to think he can go in there and take out Anthony Joshua. I'm fired up for the fight, but I also am a little bit scared for Jake.
Anthony Joshua didn't need his fists to make an impact this time. His words did the damage. In a sharp, deliberate message directed at Jake Paul, the former heavyweight champion drew a hard line. Boxing, he implied, isn't a space for internet fame or manufactured hype. With steady confidence and an underlying threat, Joshua emphasized the harsh reality separating online promotion from real combat. And if Jake Paul ever decides to step fully into that world, the outcome won't be about headlines or views, it will be about consequences that last far beyond the spotlight.
Thank you for having me. Well, you got to give credit to Jake and his team. They reached out to me, to be fair, and it was a great opportunity for me. So it's an opportunity for me to fight. I wanted to take 12 months out of the game, and I'd done that. And then it was time to get back to work, so I was planning on fighting anyway. And actually, I would have been fighting this weekend if I had it my way. And this opportunity presented itself, and I said, yeah, why not? It's great. I think it's massive, it's colossal, it's making big news. We're bringing marketability together with ability. Those two worlds collide. You got Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. And we're here in Miami. We're bringing Europe, Africa, Asia, Nigeria, the whole world together to watch this show on Netflix. It's going to be phenomenal. And that's how we ended up here, basically. Two guys that just want to...
With the calendar ticking toward the massive December 19th heavyweight clash in Miami, about featuring one of boxing's most established superstars and its most polarizing newcomer, Joshua's message sliced straight through the noise. This wasn't banter or promotional build-up. There was no storyline being crafted. It was a blunt message with a single meaning. Enter this arena and there will be a cost.
Competitive level. So that makes sense. I've been vindicated. He's now fighting fake Paul in what will be a massive mismatch. If this is correct and it's 10-ounce gloves in a professional boxing rules, 8 3-minute rounds, it's not going to go 2 rounds, is it? It shouldn't do. It shouldn't last a round. But we're going to have to wait and see, aren't we? It's hard to get your head around. It's hard to know what to say about this. AJ's obviously excited about it, about making some serious bunts. And Jake Paul's telling us that he's going to shut all the haters up by jumping in there with AJ. So what is actually going off? We're not going to know, are we, until the fight actually, till the first bell goes. We're not going to know what's actually behind all this. And we can't start throwing accusations of any sort of skullduggery going off, because we've got to take it at face value. It's not an exhibition, so nothing's pre-scripted. This is a...
Up-and-coming heavyweight Moses Itama cautioned Paul to think beyond the paycheck, stressing that one poorly timed blow could have lasting effects. Adding to the concern, former world champion Amir Khan offered a blunt assessment, suggesting that Joshua has the power to cause serious harm, even permanent neurological damage.
You know what, I think it's a great fight, and I think Joshua sparked him out in like 2 rounds. Really? Yeah, why do you look surprised when I don't.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying.
Come on, bro, you're fighting like one of the best heavyweight fighters in the world against a YouTuber. Like, come on, like, respect the sport of boxing. And if AJ has to go in there and show these influencers that, listen, you can't fuck about with boxing. You know what I mean? Someone's gonna get hurt badly, and this could be one of the first fights where a fighter gets hurt badly, because if you look at the size difference and the power difference, I mean, bro, there could be brain damages going on there. AJ could hurt him badly, you know.
Well, when you look at Francis Ngannou, who's one of the most fearsome combat styles there is. I know it's MMA, but we saw what AJ did to Ngannou, so...
And that's why you can't be surprised if AJ's going to do the same to, what's it called again? What?
During his demanding training camp for the Anthony Joshua fight, Jake Paul has already shown visible signs of wear, with changes to his nose becoming noticeable in sparring. Far from staged publicity, it's a clear indication of the punishment that comes with preparing alongside seasoned heavyweight fighters, and a reminder of the physical reality behind the spectacle.
Noses moved a couple millimeters to this camp. I'm not gonna lie, this sparring the heavyweights, my nose has a slight little something in there. A guy by the name of Frank Sanchez, he definitely cracked it a little bit. But yeah, man, it's bad. Wait, hold on. Look at that, dude. It's like Squidward, dog. But don't respect me for getting in there. Respect me when I beat his ass. I'm not just walking into a fight. I'm going to win. That's what's gonna shock the world. I will become the king of boxing.
Jake Paul's choice to face Anthony Joshua is being viewed as more than just a lucrative opportunity. Within boxing circles, there's growing concern that the matchup could place the sport's credibility at risk. Detractors point out that pairing a social media star turned fighter with a former two-time heavyweight champion creates a massive imbalance in experience and power. They argue that contests like this blur the line between legitimate competition and pure entertainment. Several ex-champions and commentators have questioned whether such crossover fights weaken boxing standing, suggesting the bout may look more like a novelty act than a true sporting contest.
Go horribly wrong. Who's to blame?
We can all say we wouldn't have done it. Anybody would put it on. They would have all done it because the money that's at stake is mad. If something goes wrong, I think boxing needs to have a look at itself because in reality, if Jake Paul wants to have a fight, a real fight with Anthony Joshua, and there's no restrictions at all, then whoever's commissioned that to say yes, go ahead, you're risking the reputation of our sport. When Jake Paul gets knocked out, if it's brutal, we're going to get that. Oh, this should never have happened. Boxing is disgusting.
Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. What do you think about that matchup, Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua?
I don't know if he's ever sparred anybody that large and that athletic that hits that hard, who's not sitting there trying to take care of him. I mean, you see it multiple times when someone receives their first real beating and they're having post-concussion syndromes, they're having headaches, they can't remember things. It changes people as a fighter, and I'm a little bit nervous about that. But I mean, you got to give it up to Jake Paul. He must have a big old nut sack on him to think he can go in there and take out Anthony Joshua. I'm fired up for the fight, but I also...
Former world champion Carl Froch has publicly cast doubt on whether a Jake Paul-Anthony Joshua showdown will even materialize. Speaking to the media, Froch said he remains unconvinced that the highly publicized bout will go ahead as scheduled. He also questioned Paul's claims about sparring with elite heavyweights, implying that many of those sessions may be exaggerated or misrepresented. Froch added that until clear proof is shown, he's not convinced Paul is truly preparing for the demands of a legitimate heavyweight fight.
Sparring Paul. They're moving around with him, touching him up, the little jab and the little technical bullshit. So they're not sparring him. Lawrence O'Kelly's quite a good puncher, he's big now. Jake Paul's not good enough to spar with him. So let's see the footage. Let's see the sparring and then I'll believe it. I still don't believe the Jake Paul AJ fight's going to happen. But I've got flights booked. I'm leaving next Tuesday to go out to Miami. But I still don't believe it's happening. Hence why I've not paid for the flights. Someone else has. But someone thinks it's happening. I'm going out there and I'm just intrigued. Like, what's going to happen? Like, what is going to happen? It's a sanctioned fight. It can't be fixed. It's a federal offence in America if that's fixed. They might have gone to Miami because they can be paid and they can sanction it, sign. A British Boxing Board of Control won't have anything to do with it. The New York State won't have, Athletic won't have anything to do with it. Nevada won't touch it. But Floridians, they've had it. And because it's not an exhibition, there can't be a TISIT agreement in there because it's illegal. So this has to be a proper fight. And every single boxing fan or boxing guy who knows about how boxing works knows that if AJ goes in with Jake Paul and tries, the fight won't last a minute. Because the first 1-2 he lands, have a look at the Ngannou fight. Yeah. And what happened to Ngannou, Francis Ngannou, who took Tyson Fury 8 rounds. Well, look how that fight ended. If he hits Jake Paul with that right hand, he might fucking snap his neck. You know what I mean? And then it's game over then.
Tony Bellew has long voiced strong opposition to the idea of Jake Paul sharing the ring with established boxing names, framing his criticism around concerns for the sport's credibility. In the past, Bellew sharply condemned Paul's bout with Mike Tyson, labeling it a dangerously uneven matchup and dismissing the wider trend of crossover fights as reckless. His stance makes it clear he has little respect for influencers entering high-level boxing without earning their place. In earlier interviews, Bellew went even further, arguing that Paul's approach offers nothing of value to genuine boxing fans. He has described Paul's fights as a circus act, insisting that real respect would only come if Paul faced legitimate professional opponents and actually defeated them. Similar sentiments have echoed from elite fighters like Artur Beterbiev. Following Paul's victory over Tyson, the undefeated and undisputed light heavyweight champion publicly challenged him, urging Paul to test himself against true world-class competition instead of celebrities. With a perfect record and a string of knockout wins, Beterbiev made it clear that stepping into the ring with boxing's elite would expose Paul to a very different level of reality. He even took to social media, calling on Paul to answer the challenge and prove whether he belongs among real champions.
What do you make of Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul fighting?
I don't know about this fight.
No? Are you for it? Is it not dangerous?
No, I don't know. I hope Joshua beat him.
You got Jake Paul or AJ? I know they already asked you, but who do you got?
I hope Joshua.
Anthony Joshua?
Yeah.
Knockout or decision?
Knockout, I hope.
For the life of me, I just can't genuinely see him getting in the ring, 10-ounce gloves being on, the bell going. I don't know.
Round one.
Yeah, I can't see it, and it's getting closer. And as each day passes, I keep thinking.
Keep looking for the news that it's off.
Yeah.
Because there is a few rumours about it.
And it's not. It's not off. And he's sparring Lawrence Okoli, and he's sparring fucking how many other heavyweights that are in his camp. And I'm just like, okay, that's great with 16-ounce gloves on, maybe 20-ounce gloves on their guards. You'll not have ever felt anything like it when he touched him for the first time with 10-ounce gloves on. And trust me, he's in for a rude awakening.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you. So it looks like the Jake Paul Anthony Joshua fight is happening as far as Tony's concerned, as far as I'm concerned. We're still, until that first bell goes, we don't know. And if it does happen, AJ's getting paid and going home in what will...
The proposed matchup has become a lightning rod for dispute, surrounded by doubt and constant argument. Detractors warn that Anthony Joshua could damage his standing by sharing the ring with Jake Paul, a fighter many insiders refuse to view as a true heavyweight contender. As former champion and longtime analyst Johnny Nelson has observed, Joshua faces an unwinnable scenario. If he overwhelms Paul, the result will be brushed off as inevitable. But if the bout turns drawn out or appears even remotely competitive, critics may claim it chips away at his legacy.
If I can beat Jake Paul, then excuse my French, what the fuck is Anthony Joshua going to do to Jake Paul? I think my dad said that AJ could beat him with his prick, and I completely will back that up. Even if AJ had a broken arm in there, it still wouldn't go past a minute. To be quite honest with you, and as a safety aspect, there's no way that fight can go ahead. At the end of the day, my God, how good does it make me look? He gets beat by Jake Paul. Well, that automatically makes me two-time heavyweight champion of the world, doesn't it? There's no proper way. I've got to laugh about it. How are we even talking about this? He got his nut boxed off by me a little over 2 years ago, and now all of a sudden he's talking about fighting Anthony Joshua. It's like, come on. Like, you can't be serious. He can't beat me. I'm not Anthony Joshua, am I?
For Anthony Joshua, the stakes extend well beyond the financial reward. There is intense pressure on him to deliver a decisive performance in order to protect his standing in the sport. Analysts such as Johnny Nelson argue that Joshua is trapped in a difficult position. Any signs of struggle or a prolonged fight against Jake Paul could create the impression that he's prioritizing business opportunities over elite competition. Nelson has also offered a pointed assessment of Paul's place in boxing. While he credits Paul as exceptionally smart in building his brand and maximizing his visibility, he rejects the notion that Paul belongs among the world's best fighters. In Nelson's view, Paul operates at a solid domestic level, yet earns purses typically reserved for champions, despite bypassing the traditional grind of the sport. Unlike most professionals, Paul didn't spend his youth rising through gyms and rankings. Instead, he built his fame online and translated that audience into boxing success. Nelson acknowledges that Paul has mastered the business side of the sport but remains doubtful when it comes to his credentials at the highest competitive level.
When they say that, it's going to be a proper fight.
I do believe it because AJ's involved, and I think AJ'd struggle to he's going to take enough flack over this, but again, it's money talks. So I think AJ will struggle because it is an Owen situation. If he goes in there and Jake Paul lasts the distance, what does he tell you about AJ? Apart from he's just earned an extra 15 million quid. If he goes there and struggles with Jake Paul, then what do you say about AJ? Your heydays are well and truly over. If he goes in there and knocks him out, then I'll say that's to be expected. So the glory, there's probably not much glory in it, apart from the haters of Jake Paul to say, right, we've got rid of this kid. I think it's very brave of Jake Paul. So now the problem child has got us to believe this fight's actually happening. So now you've got our attention. So now you've got to back up the boast. It's not about, you're not playing tiddlywink. This is the only game you can't play. You can play football, golf, tennis. You can't play boxing because you get...
On the flip side, Joshua's camp is counting on a dominant, decisive performance. Promoter Eddie Hearn has confidently predicted that Paul won't last past 4 rounds, asserting that a single clean shot from Joshua could end the fight immediately. Hearn frames the matchup as a strategic move for Joshua, a way to restore momentum and position himself for an even bigger clash in 2026, potentially against top-tier heavyweights like Tyson Fury, once the spotlight returns to elite-level competition.
Obviously, AJ versus Jake Paul. Not gonna lie, did not ever see this happening, like ever, ever, ever. So, were you just as surprised when he agreed to do it as the world was?
Yeah, I mean, I had to deal with obviously knowing that it might happen, and then the contract coming through signed by Jake Paul, and I sort of looked at it. I was like, oh my god, he's done it. So yeah, look, I have to give him credit. I do think he's crazy. I think he's got absolutely no chance. I think he's going to get smashed to pieces.
Do you think Jake's crazy?
Yeah, I mean totally. I mean, listen, for us, we received an offer that was massive money and a really easy fight. We were talking about fighting this week here in an 8-round fight. Now we're fighting in an 8-round fight for 40 times more money against Jake Paul. So I love the opportunity for AJ on so many levels. I think it's a straightforward fight, massive profile, you know, and especially in the US. So we can go back into 2026 all guns blazing with Turk El Sheikh, and the plans to hopefully fight Tyson Fury. But in the meantime, we get to wrap our hands, go out there, build the profile a little bit, smash up Jake Paul, make a fortune, and on we go. So
while Jake Paul has displayed impressive athletic ability and dedication in training, his in-ring experience remains far behind that of established professionals like Anthony Joshua. Most of Paul's preparation has focused on building stamina and sharpening fundamental boxing skills rather than mastering the advanced techniques required at the highest level. Boxing analysts have largely criticized the matchup, labeling it a risky mismatch. Prominent figures, including promoter Eddie Hearn, have pointed out the dangers Paul faces due to the significant gap in experience and ability. Hearn stressed that Joshua's elite power and deep professional background make him a highly dangerous opponent, and stepping into the ring with him could carry serious consequences for Paul.
this is the first time I've spoken about the fight. To be honest, like, I look at it and I think Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua. I mean, look, for me, we'll do it for the banter. Do you know what I mean? Like, AJ would fight Jake Paul. He'd fight anyone, to be honest with you. And if Jake Paul wants to step up and fight Anthony Joshua, he'll need the relevant insurance. But, you know, the only thing that was disappointed was he says 2026. I mean, that's like calling someone out. That's like me saying, you know, LA Olympics for the surfing, 2028, I'll be there. Do you know what I mean? Do it in 2025 if you really want to do it. You're not going to get really much better at this stage, but I don't know, those two have spoken. I spoke to AJ this morning, he went, listen, of course, I'd fight. I mean, you know, if the question was asked to Jai, would you fight Jake Paul? And there was...
I wouldn't fight him, I'd bash him.
Yeah, but he might do it, he might just do it for, you know, just for doing it, for the sake of it. But obviously we know, listen, Jake creates massive events, right? You know that's going to create, like, unbelievable viewership, and, no disrespect to Jake Paul, it's a straightforward night's work. But, you know, I like this calling out of Canelo and all this. AJ it's another challenge up there. But, you know, if they're game, why not?
What did he say, AJ, to you about it?
He said, why not? I said, what do you want me to...
Despite the concerns, Jake Paul remains confident in his ability to defeat Anthony Joshua. He has publicly pointed to perceived weaknesses in Joshua's game, insisting there are vulnerabilities he can exploit. On his podcast, Paul openly criticized Joshua's defense and mobility, suggesting the former champion has lost some of his sharpness. He also cited Joshua's recent knockout defeat to Daniel Dubois as evidence that his durability may have diminished, presenting what Paul sees as an ideal opportunity to make his move.
Why is Jake Paul doing this? Well, I think it's because he genuinely believes there is a chance he can win this. I think he's calculated everything about Anthony Joshua's circumstances and he's gone, yeah, I actually think I can do this. I can leapfrog so many years of having to build and go through the ranks and do all that stuff by beating a shot-worn Anthony Joshua. And what are the factors in Jake Paul believing this? Well, it would be firstly that AJ received a loss in his most recent fight. Anthony Joshua's not been in the ring since September 2024, so over a year by the time him and Jake Paul get in the ring together. It will have been around 15 months. It was the manner of Joshua's loss where he looked terrible. He looked like a fighter that was well past his best. His timing wasn't there. He even looked a little bit chinny, dare I say. I mean, I still think he's got a good chin. The shot he took from Dubois was absolutely massive and would have knocked down many heavyweights. And he showed decent powers of recovery to get up and struggle through for as long as he did before his over-aggression and miscalculation with the type of shots he was using.
What do you think will unfold when Anthony Joshua finally faces Jake Paul in the ring? Will Joshua silence the doubters with a swift, dominant victory, or could Paul pull off a shocking upset? Share your prediction in the comments below.